Have you ever been betrayed by someone you trusted? Have you ever experienced that moment when someone you believed in chose something or someone else over you, not because you were lacking, but because they were afraid of what you represented? For the chosen ones, the pain of betrayal isn't just about the loss of a relationship or a connection. It's about the realization that those who walked away weren't just walking away from you, but from everything you were bringing into their life. And what's worse, they chose something fake, a temporary distraction, and tried to convince themselves it was an upgrade. But now, as time goes on, they're beginning to realize the truth, and the weight of regret is settling in. You see, they didn't leave you because you weren't valuable. They didn't choose another because they found someone better or someone more suited for them. No, they walked away because your depth scared them. They feared what your presence would demand of them. You challenged them to be better, to face their flaws, to grow. And instead of embracing that challenge, they ran from it. They ran towards something loud, something bright, something that seemed like a perfect solution to escape the discomfort you stirred within them. It was easy. It was flashy. It was everything they wanted in that moment. But it was fake. Think of it like this. Imagine someone trading a solid gold watch for a cheap plastic one that flashes lights. At first, it feels like an upgrade. The plastic watch is exciting, it catches the eye, it's noisy, and it gets noticed. It's instant gratification. But a week later, the lights stop working. The plastic cracks. The glitter fades. And suddenly they remember what it felt like to wear something real, something of value. The weight of the gold watch, the steadiness, the sense of trust it gave them. That's what they did with you. They traded something timeless for something temporary. And now, in their quiet moments, they feel the absence of what they had, and they can't shake the nagging feeling that they made a mistake. And here's the truth that might sting a little. People who make decisions out of fear often end up regretting them the most. Fear-based decisions are the ones that age badly. They rot. They lose their luster over time. But regret doesn't show up immediately. It doesn't rear its head the second they make their decision. No, regret is patient. It waits until the excitement fades, until the buzz of the new choice starts to wear off, and until the distractions become empty. It waits until the silence creeps in, and they're left with nothing but the echoes of their choice. You chosen one have been living with that silence, haven't you? You've been through the quiet moments. You've felt the emptiness of being undervalued. But now, with time, you're seeing something clearer than ever before. Your absence wasn't a loss. It wasn't a defeat. It was the universe's way of realigning your path. You didn't need to chase or beg. You didn't need to explain yourself to those who had already made their decision about you. You simply allowed the universe to do its work. And while they were busy convincing themselves they made the right choice, you were quietly recalibrating, letting go of what no longer served you and preparing for what's next. Now, as you stand at this moment in time, you might be asking yourself, did they ever realize what they lost? Do they even feel it? And the answer is, yes, they do. But that realization comes slowly. It doesn't hit them all at once. It creeps in during late-night drives, in moments of silence, in those brief pauses when their mind isn't preoccupied with distractions. They start to replay the moments they had with you, your calm, your patience, the way you listened without judgment, the way you supported them without expectation. Those memories don't sting immediately. They start as nostalgia, something pleasant. But over time, they morph into something else: confusion, regret, and eventually the painful truth that what they had with you can never be recreated, no matter how hard they try. The truth is, they didn't betray you because you were lacking. They betrayed you because you were rare. Rare things are often mishandled by people who don't understand their value. And just because they didn't recognize your worth at the time doesn't mean that your value diminished. No, it only exposed their limitations. It revealed their inability to see past the surface and into the depth you had to offer. And the universe didn't punish you for this. It protected you. It removed you from a situation where you weren't being valued, and it redirected your energy towards something aligned with your higher purpose. The people who betrayed you, the ones who ran towards something fake, are now stuck in a place where their choice feels hollow. They thought they could replace you, thought they could fill the void with something shiny and new. But now the fake comfort they chose has worn off. The excitement has faded, and all they're left with is the emptiness they tried to fill. They want to convince themselves that they made the right choice, but the truth is too loud for them to ignore. And it's not just a fleeting feeling. It's a lingering presence, a constant reminder that they didn't just lose a person. They lost an opportunity for growth, for depth, for something real. And here's the thing, you don't need to prove anything to them anymore. Your growth, your peace, your silence, these are your responses. These are your answers. They don't need to hear you explain yourself. They don't need to witness you begging for their attention. Your absence already speaks volumes. And while they're trying to fill the space with noise, distractions, and shallow connections, you are moving forward. You're stepping into a future that is aligned with your purpose. You're building something they can never be a part of. And that chosen one is your greatest strength. So if this message resonates with you, if it hits you in a place that's been aching for some time, know this: you are not alone. There are many others who have experienced the same kind of betrayal, the same kind of loss. But what's different about you is your response. You didn't crumble. You didn't chase. You didn't break. You recalibrated. You realigned. And now you're standing taller than ever before, ready to walk into the next chapter of your life. The universe has seen your strength, and it is guiding you towards something far greater than you can imagine. Stay grounded, stay focused, and most importantly, stay rising. Because the universe has a way of balancing the scales. And those who betrayed you for a fake, they're living with the weight of that decision, and it's a burden they can't escape. But you, chosen one, are free, and that freedom is worth more than anything they could ever offer. It's often said that people don't leave what's good for them easily. They only leave what they don't understand, what feels too challenging, too intense, or simply too real. And in the case of betrayal, that's exactly what happened. They were drawn to something loud, something distracting, something that promised instant gratification but lacked the depth that could have grounded them. They turned their attention towards something superficial, something shiny, and in doing so, they turned their backs on what was real, enduring, and steady. This is how betrayal unfolds, not as a dramatic, instantaneous moment of loss, but as a slow, deliberate decision to embrace the fake over the genuine. They didn't realize what they were doing at the time, but now as the silence stretches between you, they're beginning to feel the weight of their choices. The truth is, what led to the betrayal wasn't a matter of you lacking anything. You were never lacking. You were full of depth, full of clarity, and full of wisdom. What led to their betrayal was their own internal discomfort with what you offered. You challenged them to be better, to go deeper, to think more critically about themselves and the world around them. You didn't simply exist alongside them, you made them feel seen. You exposed the parts of them they weren't ready to confront. And instead of embracing the challenge of personal growth, they ran towards something shallow. They chose something easy to grasp, easy to digest, and easy to ignore the uncomfortable truth that they weren't growing. In a world that celebrates the loud and the fast, the real often gets overlooked. They could have stayed with you, embraced the weight of what you offered, and built something enduring together. But instead, they opted for the quick fix, the loud, flashy, shiny thing that caught their eye but would never truly satisfy them. This is the choice of the fake. When they walked away from you, they walked toward a fleeting high that couldn't hold up under pressure. They were so enamored by the surface-level distractions that they never stopped to understand the value of what they had. And so they let it slip away, convinced that the louder, more visible choice was somehow better. The truth, however, is that they didn't just choose a distraction. They chose a counterfeit, a temporary replacement for something irreplaceable. This brings us to the metaphor that explains their error most clearly. They traded a solid gold watch for a plastic one that flashes lights. On the surface, both watches look like timepieces. Both promise the same function. But one is crafted with care, built to last, and designed with purpose. The other is made to catch the eye, to sparkle in the light, but it will never hold up in the long run. It's designed to dazzle, but only for a moment. At first, when the betrayal occurred, they were thrilled by the shiny new thing. The plastic watch caught their attention because it was bright, loud, and different. It demanded to be noticed, and it distracted them from the silence, the steadiness, and the depth that you brought into their life. The fake was exciting. The fake was easy. It didn't demand vulnerability or growth. It didn't challenge them to step into their own power. It just provided a momentary thrill, a superficial sense of satisfaction. The same way someone might be attracted to a flashy new trend, they were drawn to the newness, the noise, and the comfort of something that didn't require them to change. But that initial excitement fades. The plastic begins to show signs of wear. The flashing lights stop working. The watch cracks. The illusion of perfection starts to crumble. And then they're left holding something that can never be enough. What once seemed like a perfect choice now feels empty, hollow, and superficial. They didn't just lose you. They lost the substance you brought into their life. They lost the weight of the real thing. They lost the gold and traded it for something that will never endure. And now they are stuck trying to explain to themselves why their choice doesn't feel as good as they thought it would. They are stuck in a narrative where they're desperately trying to convince themselves that the fake choice was worth it, but deep down they know the truth. The mistake they made was misunderstanding you. They misread the depth of who you are and mistook your silence for weakness. They thought your calmness was a sign of passivity, your composure was a sign of fear. They couldn't understand why you didn't react the way others did, why you didn't chase after them or beg for their attention. They saw your stillness and assumed you were easy to replace. But what they didn't understand is that you weren't still because you didn't care. You were still because you knew your worth. You were composed because you knew that real power doesn't need to be loud. Real power doesn't need to chase. It doesn't need to beg. Your silence wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a sign of strength. Strength that they failed to see at the time but will now feel in the absence of your presence. They thought your lack of reaction meant you were indifferent, but in reality it was you preserving your energy. You were holding space for yourself, waiting for the right moment to move forward, not to chase after someone who didn't value what you offered. And while they were caught up in their loud, distracting choice, you were quietly stepping into your power. You were recalibrating, refocusing, realigning with your true purpose. And now the aftermath is clear. As time passes, the cracks in their decision begin to show. The fake that once seemed like an upgrade starts to fade, and they begin to realize what they lost. The conversations feel hollow. The distractions lose their luster. They're left questioning why everything feels so empty now. They're wondering why they traded something that was solid and real for something that can only offer temporary thrills. The absence of your depth is felt in everything they now do. The lack of clarity they once had when they were with you is now apparent. The steadiness they took for granted is now something they can never replace. And here's the truth: they will never be able to replace you. No matter how hard they try, no matter how many distractions they fill their lives with, they will never be able to replicate what you brought to the table. The fake they chose might shine for a while, but it will never offer them the lasting depth, the stability, the real connection that you did. They'll chase after it. They'll try to fill the hole with shallow distractions, but nothing will be able to stand up to the weight of what they let go. You were never a choice they could replace. You were the foundation that held everything together. And now, without you, everything is slipping. As the days go by, they will start to replay the moments they shared with you. At first, the memories might not sting. They might appear as just another set of experiences, but over time those memories will begin to feel heavier. The way you listened when no one else did. The way you supported them without needing anything in return. The calm you brought in times of chaos. They will remember these moments not as fleeting memories, but as something they can never get back. And it will hit them slowly, like a quiet realization that begins to gnaw at them when they're alone. They will start to understand that the fake they chose could never offer them what you did. They will start to feel the emptiness, the lack of depth, the lack of true connection. And though they may never admit it out loud, they will regret their decision. But that regret won't come all at once. It will come in waves, slowly building until they realize that their choice was more than just a mistake, it was a loss. And the more time that passes, the clearer that truth will become. You, on the other hand, will continue to rise. While they try to fill the gaps with temporary fixes, you will be stepping into a life aligned with your purpose. You won't need to chase. You won't need to explain. Your growth will speak for itself. Your peace will speak for itself. And your absence, that's already a powerful statement of what they lost. The universe has a way of balancing things out, and those who betrayed you for a fake will eventually see the truth of their decision. Time has a way of revealing everything, and their regret will grow stronger as time goes on. When we're in the middle of our pain, it's hard to imagine the time when the wound will heal. The separation, the betrayal feels like a sharp, unbearable sting that keeps echoing in our hearts, making it difficult to see beyond the moment. But time, as it always does, has a way of changing everything. In the beginning, the betrayals might have seemed justified, logical even. The ones who walked away convinced themselves they were making a choice that would benefit them, a choice that made them feel better about their lives, their decisions, and their futures. They believed that what they had with you was too challenging, too intense, or maybe just too much for them to handle at that time. And so they chose something easier, something that didn't require them to grow, something that didn't ask them to rise. But in doing so, they left behind something real, something powerful, something that would eventually haunt them. Time reveals the truth. It always does. It doesn't rush to expose the mistake or to make them feel the weight of their actions. No, time is patient. It allows them to think they made the right choice for as long as they need. In the moment, it was easy for them to justify. They could point to the excitement, the fleeting pleasure, the comfort of the new choice. The noise was loud, the distractions were plenty, and the temporary high felt like a worthy substitute. But as the weeks and months go by, the truth begins to surface. The excitement fades. The distractions lose their power. The flashing lights dim, and what remains is an empty space, one they never anticipated. It's a space that's now impossible to fill with the things they thought would make them happy. They tried to convince themselves that the fake was enough, but as time passed, it became clear that it wasn't. It couldn't be. And in that silence where everything once felt loud and exciting, the regret quietly began to settle in. The moment of regret doesn't always come in an overwhelming rush. It doesn't hit them all at once with a loud, dramatic realization. No regret in its most profound form comes softly. It arrives slowly, like a soft wave that builds over time until it's impossible to ignore. At first, they might have tried to ignore the gnawing emptiness inside, brushing it off as a temporary feeling that would eventually go away. They threw themselves into distractions. They sought out new experiences. They tried to find solace in shallow connections with others. But no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. It's like being surrounded by noise but still feeling like you're all alone in the middle of it all. The absence of you, the depth you brought into their life, started to echo in every conversation, in every interaction. Shallow conversations that once felt enough now felt like hollow exchanges. What was once familiar now felt empty. They smiled more sure, but those smiles were forced. They laughed louder, but it didn't sound the same. They tried to convince themselves that they had made the right choice, but deep down they could feel the absence of something real, something that once grounded them. They realized that what they had with you was irreplaceable. And now they're stuck with the harsh truth: the fake they chose can never hold the weight of what they lost. You, chosen one, didn't chase. You didn't beg for their attention or waste time explaining your worth. Instead, you allowed the universe to do the work. You knew that true strength lies in letting go of what no longer serves you. When they walked away, you didn't try to change their mind. You didn't scramble to prove your value. No, you stayed grounded. You stayed focused on yourself and your journey. You understood your worth. And you knew that anyone who couldn't see that wasn't worth your time, your energy, or your heart. You didn't react with bitterness. You didn't fight for someone who wasn't fighting for you. Instead, you took a step back, understanding that the universe would handle the separation. You let the chips fall where they may, knowing that your silence, your peace, and your growth would speak louder than anything else ever could. The truth is, the deeper the connection, the more painful the betrayal. And the more they try to replace you, the more they feel that gap. The absence of your presence began to settle in, creeping into their daily lives like a quiet whisper, a constant reminder that they had made a mistake. But the true weight of their regret didn't come immediately. It didn't hit them until they had time to reflect, to experience the shallowness of what they'd chosen. They replay moments in their mind, the moments when you listened, the moments when you understood, without needing to explain, the moments when your calmness became a pillar of support for them. Those memories started out as nostalgia, as fleeting thoughts of something that once was. But over time, they grew heavier. What was once dismissed became something they couldn't stop thinking about. The regret began quietly, but as the days passed, it built. And now they realize they can never recreate what they had with you. The depth of your connection is something they will never find again, and the cost of their decision is becoming clearer. By choosing distraction over depth, they have sealed their fate. They traded something real for something temporary. They mistook excitement for fulfillment, but as the excitement fades, they're left with nothing but the hollow feeling of a choice made in haste. They now understand the value of what they had, but it's too late. The damage is done. The void they feel cannot be filled by any number of distractions or superficial connections. And that is the price of their decision they chose. Something loud over something meaningful, something temporary over something lasting. And now they must live with the consequences. The chosen one stands apart from this. While they're left to grapple with their regrets, you are moving forward. You are not held back by their decision. You are not defined by their actions. You, chosen one, have embraced the space they left behind, and you are using it to build something that truly aligns with who you are. The universe has a way of guiding those who are willing to trust in its timing, and by allowing the separation to happen, you've opened the door for new growth, new opportunities, and new connections. You are no longer chained to the past. You are free. And that freedom, while it might have come at a cost, is the most precious gift you can give yourself. The universe has a way of balancing things out, and those who betrayed you for a fake will soon see that their choice cannot stand the test of time. The cracks will begin to show. The distractions will lose their power, and they will be left wondering why the fake feels so empty. It's a question they'll never fully be able to answer. And while they search for something to fill the gap, you will continue to rise. The universe doesn't reward those who seek comfort without growth. It rewards those who walk the hard path, who choose depth over distraction, who trust in the process even when it feels uncomfortable. And that chosen one is what will make all the difference in the end. Your growth, your peace, your alignment with your true purpose will speak louder than any regret, any apology, or any explanation they may offer. They are the ones left to face the reality of their decision, while you are the one stepping into the fullness of your life. You are the one who made the choice to embrace the real, the authentic, the meaningful. And that, in the end, is what will always carry you forward, no matter what they've chosen. At some point in our lives, we all face moments where we are forced to look at the harsh reality of the choices made by those around us. Betrayal in its truest form feels like a punch to the gut, a sudden sharp blow that leaves us gasping for air. But here's the truth that the chosen ones must carry with them. As they rise, you were never betrayed because you lacked value. In fact, you were betrayed because of your rarity. The very traits that made you stand out, that made you different, were the things that others couldn't handle. They saw your depth, your authenticity, and your inner strength, and feared what it would demand of them. Rather than rise to meet you, they ran away, choosing the shallow comforts of the surface world over the depth that you brought into their lives. But those who walked away were the ones who failed. They failed to recognize your worth. You were never less than enough. You were never too much. You were just right, and that was exactly what scared them. It was their own inability to meet you where you stood that made them walk away. They weren't equipped for the depth you offered, the growth you invited, or the authenticity you demanded. And so, instead of rising to the occasion, they ran for the comfort of something fake, something temporary, something that would never have the power to sustain them. But in doing so, they revealed their own limitations. They couldn't handle the rare gift you offered, and because they couldn't appreciate it, the universe had to step in and redirect you. The betrayal was never meant to be a punishment. It was in fact your protection. What happened wasn't the universe punishing you for trusting the wrong people or for allowing your heart to open too widely. No, the betrayal was the universe's way of redirecting you to where you truly belong. You were moved away from a situation that didn't appreciate you, from an environment where your growth was stunted by the limitations of others. And in the face of that betrayal, you were given the gift of space to grow into something more aligned with your true purpose. You've already been through the hardest part, chosen one. You've weathered the storm. You've faced the moments of silence when you were left alone, uncertain of what was to come. But the truth is that silence wasn't an absence. It was your recalibration. Your time away from the noise, your time away from the chaos of others was the space you needed to realign with your power. You have grown stronger, wiser, and more certain of who you are because the universe took you out of a situation that was holding you back. You are no longer tied to the past. You are free to be who you were always meant to be, unburdened by the weight of their judgments or their inability to see your worth. As you step forward from this moment, there is no need to chase. There is no need to prove anything to anyone. Your silence, your absence, and your peace have already spoken louder than any words or actions ever could. Your ability to walk away, to let go, and to stay grounded through it all has been the greatest statement of your strength. That silence was not weakness. It was mastery. It was control. You didn't need to scream to be heard. You didn't need to fight for recognition. You stood firm in your own energy, and that was more than enough. You were never meant to fit into their chaos. You were meant to rise above it, and you did. Now those who betrayed you, who chose the fake over the real, will live with the regret of their decision. The universe does not allow imbalance to persist. Time always has a way of exposing the truth, of revealing the consequences of choices made in fear and distraction. While they are left trying to fill the emptiness of their decision, you have already moved on, unburdened by the past. You are stepping into a new chapter, one where your growth and your peace will continue to speak for you. You are no longer tied to them, to their choices, or to their regrets. You are free. And that freedom, the ability to rise above, is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself. The universe always balances the scales. It does not punish those who are wronged. It redirects them, aligns them with their purpose, and provides them with the space to grow into something more powerful, more authentic, and more aligned with their true selves. You are now stepping into that space. You are stepping into a future that is rooted in your worth, in your value, and in your ability to hold space for yourself without needing the validation of others. You were never meant to stay in a place where you were undervalued. You were always meant for something more, something bigger, something that resonates with who you truly are at your core. And as you continue on this journey, remember that growth is not linear. There will be moments where you feel uncertain, where you question if you are on the right path. But in those moments, remember this: you are exactly where you need to be. The universe is always guiding you, always redirecting you toward your purpose, even when it feels like things are falling apart. The road may be hard, but it is leading you to something far more significant than anything you could have imagined. Trust in that process. As you embrace your growth, embrace the peace that comes with it. The peace that comes from knowing your worth, from trusting that the universe has already worked things out on your behalf, and from realizing that those who betrayed you are the ones who lost. They lost the opportunity to grow with you, to learn from you, to experience the depth and stability that you bring into the world. They lost access to your energy, and now they must live with the consequences of that loss. But you have gained so much more. You are now free to move forward, unburdened by the past. You are walking into a future that is aligned with your true purpose, and that future is far greater than anything they could have offered you. Let this be your final encouragement. The people who betrayed you, who chose the fake over the real, will have to live with the weight of their decision. Their regret will grow over time, and no amount of distractions will ever be able to fill the emptiness they now feel. But you, chosen one, have moved forward. You have found your peace, your purpose, and your growth. You have chosen to step into your power, to walk the path that is aligned with who you are. And in doing so, you have left behind the noise, the chaos, and the distractions that once held you back. And now it's your turn to reflect. Reflect on how far you've come, how much you've grown, and how much you've learned from the experiences that once felt like betrayal. Reflect on the strength it took to rise above the noise and find your own peace. And know this, the path you are walking now is yours. It is a path of authenticity, growth, and realignment with your true purpose. It is the path of the chosen one. If this message resonates with you, if you feel aligned with these words, I encourage you to reflect on your journey. Allow it to sink in, to nourish you, and to guide you as you continue forward. And if you haven't yet subscribed for more empowering content like this, now is the time. Subscribe and stay connected. Together we will continue to rise, to grow, and to embrace the power that lies within us all. Stay grounded, stay focused, and most importantly, stay rising. The universe always balances the scales, and you, chosen one, are right where you need to be.